How's it? So Luke here with Powerhouse Fitness, and we're going to show you how to put together the Powercage. So obviously it's got tall uprights and everything's pretty heavy, being commercial grade steel, so we want to build it in a fashion that we can assemble as much as possible on the ground and stand it up safely and then bolt together. So what we're going to do is we're going to bolt the front uprights, which I've got lying here on the ground, which you can see them there, and we're going to bolt them onto these lower braces, the lower cross members, and we're going to bolt the top cross members on as well, and then we're going to stand both of them up just as such, and you'll see the demo in a bit. And then we're going to bolt the back brace, which is this piece here, onto the two back uprights and stand that up to marry the two together. So simple process. With this kit as it stands at the moment, what we're doing is a 100mm M12 bolt, which you'll have, and we have another washer, and that simply goes through, one washer on the bolt side. We take it, we feed it through, we line it up, and there's a wee bit of tolerance in these holes, about half a mil thereabouts, so that you can get the bolt through nice and easily, so you shouldn't have to push or force it. And then we put the other washer on the other side, and we put the nylock the nylock nut on here. And it all depends on personal preference, but I like to have the bolt side showing on the outside of the rack, or like the visible side of the rack, because it's just prettier. Feed that one through, and as you can see, the bolts fit really nicely. Washers going easily, and we just finger tighten them, and then we go ahead and do the top cross member again, exactly the same process. Hard to line up when you can't see. Put the washer on, put the nut on, and then we go ahead and do that for all of them. Grab the ratchet and a spanner. I'm just using a ratchet and a spanner. You could use a rattle gun with this 19mm wrench head on it, but we just go ahead and tighten it up. Don't do it up too tight, just a little bit of tension, because we want to be able to sit the rack on the floor and get it just sitting nice and stable. And then obviously your floor might be a little bit out. Most concrete pads are, so we get it sitting nice and stable, just finger tight. We wriggle the rack into place, make it feel good, and you'll see me do that in a bit once it's all standing up. And then we go ahead and tighten the bolts up properly, and then it will sit nice and level. Now I should explain something else as well. There's two ways to use a washer. One side you'll see is punched, and one side you'll see is flat. So try and put the punch side on. You can see on the very edge of the washer there, you can see which way the metal's been punched. So try and put the flat side onto the paint, and that way it won't scratch up your paint as bad. Another thing as well, put the socket head on the nut, because typically the nut is ever so slightly bigger, and the socket head is the one that's doing all the work, so that's the one that's doing all the torquing, and that way your nut will stay in a nice fashion as well, and you won't bear any of the edges over. And just use your wrench, which is typically a bit sloppier, on the bolt head, and that way it'll stay static, like so, and you won't scratch up any of the heads of either the bolt or the nut. Okay, that's the two sides done. So what we're going to do now is stand them up, and they'll just rest on the base piece. So we want to be careful doing this as well. They're very light actually in reality, like it's not a heavy thing to lift up. But you're not just sitting there stationary. We want to be careful not to bump them while we're doing everything else. So just be cautious there so they don't fall over and damage anything. So that they're not sitting there for too long like that, we're going to go ahead and put the pull-up bar in. Go ahead and we place a bolt in the rack at the top always. So whenever you're bolting something standing up or a full height, start from the top bolt first, and that way everything hangs with the help of bare old gravity. Take a washer and a nut, or sorry, two, one of each, in both hands, and we want to just hold the pull-up bar in place. We may need a second person to help with this. Put the washer over, and lightly do up the nut, and that way we've got that tightened up. Put the other one in place. And do likewise. And that way we've got these two married, semi-sturdy. We just want to make sure that the right spacing apart at the ground, so they're not pulling away from each other. And if you can leave it resting there for a bit. Right, and then we want to go ahead and put the other two uprights and attach them to this top cross member and stand it up. So we're going to go ahead and do that over here. So when doing this, we want to make sure that the uprights are facing the right direction, obviously, so we don't go and bolt into the wrong holes. So we want numbering on the racks to be facing towards the ground on both uprights. And then depending on which way around you want it to show, you might want that flat piece of the flange on the back support showing towards the front of the rack, or you might want it like that there. I'm going to have this showing to the back of the rack, so that as you walk around the rack, obviously because in this room we've got the ability to walk all the way around the rack, so I want that to show on the back of the rack, so I'm going to have it like this. So it's totally personal choice. Again, so you can see I can just easily do it by pushing the bolt through with my fingers. There's no need for a hammer or banging it through or anything like that. So don't force any of these components, as the holes are made to the perfect tolerance. So just check you've always got your washer on both sides as well, so that you don't go and crimp the rack. Go and tighten it up and actually push the rack in. The washer spreads the force of the bolt, obviously, so just be sure with that. So as soon as that bolt gets a little bit of force, just stop tightening it. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and lift this whole section up and put it in place on the rack. So we just stand it there. Then what we want to do is try and do the top bolts first. So we feed them through from this side. You can see that there. And just marry it together like that there. Should be nice and easy and should hold itself just hanging in place like so. If you have this bit here slightly tilted back away from the rack. And that'll give you time and the ability to put a nut on without having to force anything into place. And then we go around and just on this back brace we're going to tighten everything to be moderately tight, just gripping against the rack, not overboard. Okay, now we want to make sure that everything is placed nice and firmly on the ground. All the feet are sitting sturdy. See there, the front one's off a little bit, so just want to kick that back. Make sure that we've got all the feet firmly planted on the ground, which they are now. So you can see there's a bit of wobble on the rack. That's because everything's just ever so slightly loose, and that allows us to get it placed nice and firmly. Now we go ahead and tighten everything up to full tightness, but again don't overdo it, just so that there should be around about 3 to 4 mils of the bolt poking at the end of the nut. So I'll show you what that looks like now. So check it's still placed correctly. All the feet look sturdy. We've already removed a lot of wobble from the rack, so that's good. And now we'll just go around and tighten up the bottom bolts. There we go, we have a seriously sturdy power cage, fully set up, ready to do some heavy squats in. And our finishing touches, drop our cups into place. Get our belt spotters, which these will come pre-assembled for you. So you choose which way around you want them, whether you want the bolts in or a bolt out. I like to have the sharp part of the bolt poking out so that there's just nothing in the way when I'm inside the rack. Go ahead and set them up, make sure these aren't twisted obviously, make sure they're out straight. Drop that into place. Again, checking they're not twisted and having the flat head of the bolt on the inside, get your numbers right. Put it into place. In place. You can check the height of the front spotter by looking at the numbering in the front of the rack, so we've got 22 and 22 there. Now you grab yourself a Powerhouse bar, place it in the rack, and that's the Powerhouse power cage.